Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I know it's been a while since I've done my last gear review or anything, or even been here on YouTube. So if you do watch my channel, religiously, I do appreciate y'all, having some patience. But, I have something pretty cool here for y'all. The last review I did was on the Harley Benton warlock thing. And the reason why I did that, because at the time, BC Rich warlocks were like stupid expensive. They were like $500 for a cheap Bronze Series warlock. And I was on Reverb not too long ago, and I found this bad boy. And the main reason why I got this one in particular was because it was new old stock, meaning this thing sat in the back of a warehouse or whatever it was for about 25 years, still in the original box, still the original everything, but was never sold. I guess it had been sitting somewhere and got forgotten about until whoever bought or found the business or whatever and found this fucking badass thing in the back. So I'm very fortunate to have gotten a new old stock guitar, which are pretty fucking rare to get. They're like diamonds in the rough. If you can get them, scoop them up while you can, because if you can find a new discontinued guitar from 20, 30, 40 years ago, I would say go ahead and get it, regardless of whatever the fuck it is. But anyways, I got lucky and I found something kind of I've always wanted. And this is the BC Rich Warlock Revenge. These were a slight step up from the Bronze Series. Not by much, but they were still kind of a budget guitar back in the day. But they were a step up from the Warlock in aesthetics and the pickups, the inlays, things like that. I think the body's actually a little bit sharper and cleaner on this than the Bronze Series Warlock. But I'm going to go ahead and shut up, and I'm going to play out some stuff. I'm not playing anything in particular, I'm just riffing and noodling around, so take that for what it is. My guitar playing isn't the best. And I'm missing the low E. I blew out the low, or the high E when first took it out of the box, excuse me. But yeah, man, let me get shredding around and play this thing for y'all for a bit. So, this thing is pretty dope for what it was. Like I said, I got lucky on Reverb. It was new old stock. It came in the original box, everything. It had the tiniest little blim, which I don't know if the camera's even going to pick it up, but I'll try to show y'all. Let's see if I can get that in there. The tiniest little, crackle on this one thing, which I think was the main reason that it was hidden away for so long, because I'm sure whoever put this thing in the box, took it out and was slightly damaged in shipping, and they didn't want to put it on their showroom floor, got pushed aside and got lost in the back for probably 20 plus years. So that's probably the reason why this thing never made it onto the showroom floor of whatever place it originally ended up at, because it came with probably a shipping blim, is my best guess. I can't tell you all that for a fact, but that's my guess, is it had a blim upon the arrival of the new place that it got, and it never made its way to the showroom floor, and probably got forgotten about. But, more about the guitar. The Revenge series, like I said, is a slight step up from the Bronze series. I mean, for their day when they came out, if I remember right, they were probably about $250, $300, so they weren't too expensive back in the day. But with anything that is discontinued and kind of rare, the price skyrockets over the years, because we always want things we can't have. You know, we all know that as guitar players, musicians, we always want shit we can't have that is discontinued. Even car guys, y'all know, gun guys, y'all know. Y'all want shit you can't have that's discontinued. But, you know, more about the guitar. Like I said, it's a slight upgrade. It does have the Duncan designed pickups in it, not just the BC Rich pickups. It has a very, very nice white binding. The edges on this are a lot more predominant than they are on the Warlock, which I actually like. But yeah, and most of the time if you see one of these Revenges, they'll typically be in a white or black. From the majority of the ones that I've seen personally, I've never seen a red one until this one came up for sale. I want to say I've seen a purple one, but they're pretty rare, I think, or they could be a copy, I don't know. But typically, most of the time when you find these, they're going to be in black and or white, which is another reason why I picked this up. Not only was it new old stock, but it's fucking in delicious, like, candy apple fucking red. And I have a couple of nice guitars, but aesthetically, to me, this is by far the prettiest guitar that I have. I mean, it's just beautiful. For a $300 guitar back in the day, this would have been a fucking bargain. I don't really want to tell y'all what I paid for this thing, to be quite honest. It was kind of a lot, but it kind of wasn't. More than you probably should spend. But the only reason why I spent a little more was because it was new old stock, and the chances of finding a new old stock anything is pretty slim to none. They're pretty scarce and rare. So that was the only reason why I paid a premium price for this. But other than that, I mean, I'm pretty happy with it. I'm not disappointed with it. I'm not unhappy with it. I actually really like this thing, to be quite honest. I mean, and I have, you know, an LTD 50. I have an Alexi 200. I have an Epiphone Thunder Horse, and I typically play my Epiphone Thunder Horse, and since I've had this, I've been playing it a lot. So, I mean, that should speak kind of volumes as, at least for me, compared to an LTD 50 and an Alexi 200 and a Thunder Horse. I mean, you can move around and you can chop on this thing pretty fucking hard. So even though it was a budget guitar back in the day, I mean, even the EX LTD 50, that was a budget guitar. Alexi 200 was a budget guitar. The Epiphone Thunder Horse obviously isn't a budget guitar, but, you know, this is kind of a nice in-between for those. But let me get playing for y'all again, because I know y'all are probably tired of fucking hearing me talk, so I'm just going to keep So I just kind of wanted to break this thing out and show y'all guys, especially for the people who are more into Warlocks or budget guitars or mid-range guitars. You know, I don't, you know, I'm a poor, I work for a living, I have a fucking kid, I can't afford the most expensive shit, so I try to always get the best bang for my buck, especially when you work hard for your money. You always want to try to get the best bang for your buck. But, you know, I feel like I did pretty good. If y'all have one of these Warlock Revenges, let me know. I would love to hear your opinion on it. Do you like it? Do you hate them? I particularly like it. I'm not unhappy with it by any means. I like how it feels. I like the inlays. I like the pickups that are in it, especially for them being stock. They don't have a lot of bottom end to it. They're pretty twangy, which is kind of odd, especially for something like this. And it may just be the wood that it's made out of. Sorry. I had a few beers earlier and I got the fucking burps, guys. I'm sorry. Or ladies or whoever the fuck are watching this. Whatever the fuck you are. I'm sorry. My bad. But yeah, so I don't know a whole lot. I don't have a spec sheet in front of me. Let me put it to you that way, but I will give you the things that I do know. It does have the Duncan design pickups in it. They are not Seymour Duncans themselves. They are Duncan designed. So take that with a grain of salt. The Revenges, they were made in China. Also, take that with a grain of salt. The only problems I have with this, since I've had it, are basically cosmetic, and I knew that buying it from the seller that had it listed on Reverb, the guy that I bought from on Reverb, did a very good job showing what was wrong with it. And like I said before, I did have a blim on this one piece right here. You probably can't even notice on the camera. And another thing is that he pointed out that I wouldn't have even noticed unless he did, which, like I said, kudos to him, because I always like people who list shit properly, because if you're going to end up having to ship things back and forth, it's a pain in the fucking ass for everybody. So I always commend people who list things properly on Reverb, and I always give them a fantastic rating for doing that. But another thing he pointed out to me was, I don't even know if you can tell, but this headstock has a slight cant to it. It doesn't seem to, like, impede the playing ability to it, but it is one thing that he pointed out, and one thing I noticed since he's pointed out. If he wouldn't have, I wouldn't have known. But since he has, like I said, I bought it knowing that, and I didn't care. But yeah, so, and even with the slightly canted headstock, I don't know if you know what canted means, but say this is straight, a cant would be like this, or like this, one way or the other, that is not neutral. So, yeah. But it still plays fine, it still sounds fine. I don't have any problems with tuning or playability as far as the headstock canted it being. But other than that, I'm actually fairly happy with the Warlock Revenge. So, I mean, like I said, guys, look how pretty this thing is. This is the main reason why I got it, was how aesthetically beautiful this guitar was. I mean, it looks good anywhere and everywhere I take it. But yeah, so like I said, if y'all have one of these, let me know what y'all think. Do y'all like it? Do y'all hate it? Do y'all have like a different color that I haven't seen or I didn't mention? Like I said, I typically see them in black and white. I've never seen a red one until this one popped up. I've seen like one or two purple Revenges, but I don't know if those are legitimate or, like I said, copies, because there's a lot of like Chibsons out there nowadays, which they serve their purpose for what they are. I can't always hate on them. They're probably not all terrible. Some are gonna be better than others. But yeah, so let me play some more stuff for y'all, and we'll probably conclude this video here shortly. But let me just kind of play y'all some stuff, just so y'all can get a better idea. So that is the Revenge Warlock. Revenge. You know, revenge is always best served up the metal way anyways, is it not, ladies and gentlemen? So like I said, thank y'all guys for sticking around this far and watching my video. I hope y'all enjoyed it. like, comment, subscribe as always. If you have any questions or comments, anything like that, always feel free to post them in the comments. I do my best to get back to everybody that I can in a timely manner. So my apologies if I don't, but again, I really appreciate y'all sticking around and watching my stuff. It means a lot to me. So, y'all keep shredding, y'all keep having fun doing things like that.